Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, and today I would like to go over the June 2022 Tarot and Oracle card reading for air signs. And those signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So, and all of the decks that I am using will be linked in the description below. We are using a Dragon Oracle deck for the guide for this month, the Mystic Wisdom deck for the message from Source, and the Art Nouveau Tarot deck for your tarot message, challenge, or lesson. And there are 5 weeks in the month of June with a few overlapping days at the beginning and end, but those overlapping days just mean you get a double message for that time period. So this is for the first week of June 2022 for air signs. And if you like what I am doing with these videos, go ahead and subscribe or drop a like if it's something that you are interested in. And if it's something you feel someone might benefit from, go ahead and share that. So our first week for June 2022 for air signs, your guide is the Black Dragon from Saturn. Bringing wisdom through spiritual discipline, concentrate, focus on your vision, congratulate yourself, you have passed the test. So this is actually a really good card, even though it's a Black Dragon. But Saturn is actually an ending and a beginning planet. So when you have a Black Dragon from that area, you're dealing with a rebirthing period. And so you're getting your wisdom through spiritual development. What that means is your spiritual journey is actually a lot more important than the logical and very analytical mind will tell you, because you can be as logical and analytical and very, this is how it is, this is black and white, that you want. But if you don't have that spiritual part, you have a lot of knowledge, but you don't have any wisdom. And so this dragon, this Black Dragon from Saturn, is a good one to reach out to help you this first week. Basically, focus on enlightening yourself in a spiritual manner. You've come a long ways, and that's being very, very clearly brought through, but this dragon can help take you further. And it's like, congratulations, you passed. You've came this far. Look at how far you've come, air signs. And what this dragon is saying is, let's keep going. Let's go further. So this first week, it looks like it's going to be all about moving forward at a rapid pace. So your message from Source is self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. And so with that, the message is saying you've got the ally and the Black Dragon coming forward to help you move forward and get things going. But the self-reliance card is, you don't always have to have a guru. You don't always have to have a teacher. Sometimes the things that you learn best are from the wisdom you acquired through sometimes making not the best choices, but it's how you learn. Because knowledge is book smarts, and that's a very strong aspect of being an air sign, is you want to be very logical. But the wisdom that comes with it is when you can say, yes, thank you for the books, but now I need to go out and experiment myself. And so what this is saying is, the lessons that you're learning are not exclusive to your books, to your knowledge of things that you have studied. This is a time for basically going out there and experiencing a little bit more. And when you have the Black Dragon working with you, it's actually a really good way to learn those lessons in a way that helps you grow and doesn't just trip you up. So your message through the tarot, so it's a lesson or a challenge, is the One of Chalices. So this is water energy coming forward. So you Aquarians should probably listen, because you are the water bearer. It's an air sign, but you carry the water. And what this is saying is, you're beginning a new journey. You're needing to tap more into the emotional aspect of who you are. You've been very much up in your own head, and this is a time to bring that down, really connect into your heart, which is where your emotions reside. And yes, you carry the water, but you carry it and you need to share it. And so allowing those emotions to step forward every now and then, and really not so much take center stage, but allow them to at least get on stage is a good thing. And so this first week is all about reconnecting in that respect, which ties into your guide for the week of the Black Dragon and the self-reliance of sometimes it's okay to make those mistakes because that's how we all learn. So let's move on to the second week of June for air signs 2022. My deck is being a little grabby today. It is the Fire Dragon. So this is an energy that's compatible with you as air. Burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired, clearing your soul's pathway. So the Fire Dragon coming in means that there's going to be some very dynamic shifts occurring in the second week. And when you have fire mixing with air, it creates a form of inferno. So you're going to be moving quickly in your spiritual journey this week. The energy is very, very much active. And having the Fire Dragon there, because it's a Fire Dragon, it can help you manage the swirling vortex that could be coming forward. Nothing is secured, nothing is guaranteed when you're dealing with tarot and oracle, because we're looking at overall patterns within an energy field. So your energy may not be as aggressive as someone else's, but the Fire Dragon can still help you process that more intense energy that could be coming forward the second week. So your message from Source is Epiphany, seeking clarity. So the second week, you've got all this very high frequency energy with the Fire Dragon coming through. Things are moving quickly. And what this card is saying for the second week message is you could be having those epiphanies, those aha moments pretty heavily this week. Like things are going to fall into place where you're like, wait, I planned for that. Look, it just happened. Or I've been intending that, or I've been trying to manifest that with my intentions. And this is all about moving you forward in a rapid pace, but it's also a way to show you that on your spiritual journey, things don't always have to fit into a set pattern. Sometimes it's very spontaneous, and an epiphany is a spontaneous realization. And so you're going to be having that type of an energy this week. So your tarot card is the Eight of Pentacles. So this is earth energy, which is technically your opposite air signs. So this is something that's going to be more of a challenge than a lesson. The Eight of Pentacles, what it's showing me is it's a period of reflection, of examining the things in your life, especially things with the hearth, the home, finances, and just examine it. If it's beautiful, enjoy the beauty. If it's not so great, accept it, but just work towards improving it at a later time. Right now, the energy is really specific on observe. Don't rush, don't panic. So you've got fire coming in saying we've got to get things done. You're having epiphanies, but there's this area right here that says in your home, in your finances, just observe, which is a little more contrary because even you in the air world, the air signs, you like to be moving, you like to be doing. So you've got the fire working with you, you've got epiphanies, but the tarot, which is usually a little bit more serious, is saying you can do that everywhere but at home, basically. So it's time to examine some things there. So this third week is the Water Dragon, which is helping you flow easily around obstacles. Christ, light, and love are flowing through you, developing psychic abilities, and learning to go with the flow. Which, going with the flow, being air, you tend to go with the flow anyway. So in this respect, you have a Water Dragon coming up, which is, again, a compatible dragon for you. And it's helping you look at the obstacles that you were examining in that second week, here at this third week. What it's saying is those obstacles, you can move them. You can move around them. They're not that big of a deal. The energy that's sitting on top of them looks a lot more serious than it really is. And this dragon is like, you know what? Just go. It's fine. Move around it. It'll get out of the way. It'll go away. It's really not that big of a deal. So you're observing in the second week as a challenge. But in this third week, it's like, now you've observed it, move on. Just, that's what the cards are saying. So this third week message is choices. Make the best choices for you. And so when you have the Water Dragon coming forward saying, just move, it's fine, we'll flow around it. If we get dammed up, we'll move over here instead. And what this card with choices is saying is, you're doing these movements, but you're doing it from a conscious, logical standpoint of, I've run into this barrier, water is saying, let's just go over here. So you're making a choice. Do I stay here and beat my head into this wall, or do I look over this direction and just go that way? Because that's a choice that's helping you go with the flow, which is the energy so far coming up for this week is all about letting go, just kind of, you've examined things, you've really pushed in the last couple of weeks. This third week is like, we're just going to take a breath, we're going to slow it down, it's fine, we'll go over here, we're not going to stress over things. So this third week is just, so far, is looking very much like, let's just settle down, let's go with the flow, kind of, you know, get that California vibe type feeling where you're just, or the island vibe is another good one for that, where you just let things go. You know, if you feel tired, take a nap. So your message from the tarot is a lesson or a challenge, so we'll let you decide on that. It is the Strength card. So this is a major arcana. So this is a life lesson card. So this third week, when you're talking strength, we're talking about building your inner strength. And maybe the examining is looking at part of that, like, am I doing enough to strengthen my finances? Am I doing enough to strengthen life in general? And so what this is saying then this third week is, now it's really time to build that strength. It could be building willpower, it could be building financial strength or stability, but it's also about learning how to conquer your fears and conquer that inner little voice that sometimes sits at the back of your head and says, you're just not good enough, you can't do that, why are you being so emotional? And this kind of strength says, no, I am good enough, be quiet. I'm not being emotional, I am having a reaction to an event that I'm supposed to be having for me. And I don't care what someone else is doing, I'm not them. So you're building that strength of resolve of, no, I have this ability, I can move myself around these obstacles, I am making these choices. So you're really strengthening your will is the challenge that I'm seeing for this third week. So let's hop over here to the fourth week for June of 2022 air signs. You have the Royal Blue and Gold Dragon. Strengthens you to stand in your own power, awakening to your own majesty, wearing the cloak of power with pride. So this is all about, you've come a long ways, obviously, because that's the first card we pulled. And at this point, it's time to really start letting that part of you step forward. You've done all the things, you've learned all the lessons, you're starting to really build and integrate that wisdom into your life. And what this is saying is, be okay with accepting the thanks and the accolades. Don't be prideful about it, because to wear the cloak of pride, of power with pride doesn't mean, look at how good I am, I've done all these things and you haven't. What it's saying is, be okay with people coming and being like, you seem different, what have you done? What are you doing? I've been watching for a while, you just keep getting more spiritual, you're waking up, your business is improving, what's your secret? And so that is coming forward, and what they're saying with that is, when they ask you what your secret is, it's not a secret, it's source. You're developing that prayerful mindset, and you don't have to be forceful about it, because no one likes that knock on your door, hey, I'm here to tell you about my version of religion. This is all about being okay with sharing, but not doing it in an arrogant way. So be proud of what you've done, but don't be prideful of that you've accomplished it. Like I said, there's a little bit of a word dance there. So your message from Source is resilience. Rise above tribulation. So this fourth week could be a little bit of a struggle or a trial for you, is what that's saying, because you have the Royal Blue and Gold Dragon coming forward saying, no, you're allowed to show who you are. It's totally okay for you to be you. And what this is saying is, be resilient, because during this time period there may be something come forward that kind of startles you, knocks you off your goals. Like you've got this thing and you're on a mission and something comes in and bumps you to the side, like out of the blue, something you didn't expect. But being able to recalibrate and get back on the path and maybe adjust your path a little bit, because when you have those hiccups in the road, it's a chance to step back and be, is this the right thing? Am I looking at this the right way? So being resilient is not just getting back up and plowing forward, it's getting back up and then readjusting if necessary. If not necessary, if everything looks the same and you're still going towards something that is not hurting anybody else and it's benefiting you and those around you, then that is the time just to keep going. But that resilience is just remember to get back up when that life knocks you down. And you've got the royal blue and gold dragon to help support you in your different choices or realigning with that higher self. So your message from the tarot, which is a lesson or a challenge, is the Six of Wands. So wands are actually fire elements. And so when that comes up, we're looking at things of passion, of creativity. It can be romantic. This one is what they're saying with the Six of Wands is, sorry, what it's coming through is very much about creativity, but it's a creativity in a way of sensuality. And sensuality is not sexuality, so don't mix those two up. When I say coming through with sensuality, it's creativity through your senses, through touch, through smell, through taste, through seeing, through hearing. So it is an all-encompassing form of creativity. So this fourth week is about how can you create something that dazzles the senses, not just the mind. Now the mind has a sense of its own, but we're talking more physical senses here. So if you have a creative talent, this would be a good week to really explore how can I make this better? How can I share this with somebody else? You know, if you practiced long enough and you want to start teaching classes, things like that are things to look into this week. But it's all about bringing the senses into your art and your craft. So the 5th week of June 2022 air signs is the Air and Fire Dragon. Expand your creative energies, harness your creativity, excitement, and enthusiasm, communicate your passion. So this last week was all about understanding who you are, being resilient, being able to bounce back. You had a guide that was helping you understand your power, and the tarot was saying your creativity is where a lot of energy can be, and to do it in a physical sense. And then you come up with this last week of June, and it's the Air and Fire Dragon, which is specifically working with the creative energy. You were waking up or making the choice to choose that energy in that 4th week. So that 4th week was prepping you for this 5th week energy. So when you have the air and fire, you have your creativity and your intellect working in very strong balance. And so what this is saying is during this 5th week of June, it's all about creating something new, but not just doing it from an emotional state, it's doing it from an intellectual state. Creativity and bringing a feeling into it. If you are writing a novel, this would be a good time to really flesh that out and get started. Not just, oh, I've got the outline, so I can do this later. No, they're saying do it now. If you have the outline, sit down, write the first chapter. But get that energy moving because you're very much in line with moving a creative project forward. So your message from Source is friendship. Nurture your relationships. So this whole month has been pretty solitary for you, air signs, and it's been very much about developing you, working through you, things like that. And what this card is saying is during this 5th week, you're working on developing this creativity. You've got this idea. You're going forward. You've got this. What this card is saying is good. Go for it. But don't forget you've got friends, physical friends. They're being specific physical. I was going to say physical and spiritual, but they're being very loud saying physical. So during this 5th week of June, find ways to reach out to friends. Go to that barbecue that your friend's having that you weren't sure if you wanted to go to. This is a message saying it's probably good to do that. It's also time maybe if you're like, I want to have someone come over for, have my own barbecue. Invite people, but do it in a way that's all about your friendships that you have. Build on those, rekindle them, strengthen them, maybe include them in your creative project. It's all about the connections for this 5th week is what the message from Source is. So let's look at what the tarot has to say, because this has been an interesting month for you, air signs. This is the Three of Swords. This is your signs. And this, I feel, ties very strongly back into the message from Source. So they're really wanting to hammer this one home, because this card is saying rekindle, mend any broken relationships. Not if they were toxic. If they were toxic, they need to stay broke to keep that out of your life. But if it's one of those things where it was a minor misunderstanding and you kind of faded away from each other, you're dealing with a lot of friendship energy and a lot of creativity this week. And what they're saying is use that creative energy, use that buildup of positive energy that you've been working on, and maybe mend that relationship with a friend. If it was something that was a simple misunderstanding, take the hint and do the apology. Or open the door so that they can talk to you if you've cut them off for no reason. Because a lot of the times, especially in the air world, because everything is so logical, if they were having an emotional day, it may have come completely different to you. And so this could be a balancing thing of, was it me? Was it them? Does it matter? Not really. So step forward and be, I don't want to say the bigger person, but be the first person to step forward and say, hey, I'm sorry, or, you know, I don't think we fully understand each other on this subject. Let's try to fix this. And it may not work, and it might, but you're never going to know unless you try. And so this card is all about reaching out, try to build that bridge, try to fix the situation in your relationships. So I hope that that resonated for you, our dear air signs. And if you want to see what else I offer, the link is in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe if you appreciate what I am doing here. It helps the channel grow. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or otherwise comments, you can leave them in this comment section below, and I do read all of the comments. And I will talk to you guys in the next video.